When you blend artistic talent, musical insight, humor, sensitivity, a positive outlook, and on a mission of joy, there is a strong probability that this would fit the description of Kevin Rice, an art therapist. Kevin is not a doctor or social worker. He did not train to be a professional artist or therapist. What he is able to bring to the treatment of those who experience serious illness, trauma, or challenges in living is the opportunity to cope with their symptoms in a creative, stress-free environment, providing a different form of healing. Art therapy, the therapeutic use of art making with a professional relationship, is used with senior citizens in nursing homes, adults suffering from depression or anxiety, and recovery for combat veterans. Kevin's major focus is with the younger population who might suffer from all forms of childhood illnesses. Kevin was born in Putnam in 1970. The family, parents Carol and Joe, and children Joe Jr., Chris, and Kevin, grew up on River Road, and it remains the family homestead. The initial steps on Kevin's creative journey had an early beginning at the Craft Menagerie, a craft store owned by his parents and run by his mom, and continued that journey as he progressed through Putnam's educational system. By 5th grade, teachers started to take note of Kevin's artistic talents. He began doing Saturday night live news skits, played the role of Scrooge in his first theatrical endeavor, and was a member of the All-Eastern Chorus while still in middle school. There are 18 photos of Kevin in his Putnam High School senior yearbook, and a list of 14 activities in which he participated as a student during his 4 years. Not surprising that he was recognized as doing most for his class. Yet he didn't neglect the books, as testified by his recognition into the National Honor Society. In addition, he sang the national anthem prior to basketball home games.
If you were to ask me in a community who should be recognized for outstanding contribution, Kevin would be right up there. He's a wonderful person, and I think the community of Putnam really raised a nice boy. And when I say community, I mean community. While Joe and Carol were incredible parents, all of his friends and their parents, working with all of those kids in that group at that time, they spent a lot of time with each other, a lot of time at each other's houses. So it definitely is a community effort we're seeing as we see what he has contributed to the world. And I think Putnam should be proud of themselves for helping create such an inspiring person.
After Putnam High, it was on to the University of Connecticut. Acceptance as a student on campus was not immediate. However, when Kevin discovered that there was a need for tenor voices, he responded by offering a version of Ave Maria. It not only provided a path for acceptance as an opera major, but the performance also earned him a fine arts scholarship. While not as extensive as his high school activity list, at UConn, Kevin was a member of the Husky Marching Band for 4 years, including a year as treasurer. His involvement in additional student activities was enough for him to receive the Dr. Donald McCullough Award for Student Leadership, and he witnessed the last-second Tate George shot to beat Clemson in the NCAA basketball tournament. From anxiety to miracle. Following graduation in 1993, Kevin started post-UConn as Galleria manager at Barker Animation Art Gallery in Cheshire, Connecticut, followed by trade show coordinator at Peacock Papers in Boston, then a 3-year stint as admissions counselor at the School of Visual Arts in New York City. It was while at the School of Visual Arts that a friend suggested he volunteer for a couple of weeks at Paul Newman's summer camp in Ashford, Connecticut, which was founded in 1988 by the legendary actor and philanthropists. Newman's reasoning for the camp? So that children with serious illnesses could just be kids and raise a little hell while having a camping experience. The die for Kevin had been cast. In 2000, he began providing therapeutic art to children with cancer and other life-threatening diseases while still volunteering as a camp counselor. Kevin stated at the time, "I had no idea what I was doing, but I loved it. I just provided a safe zone to divert the kids from their time in the hospital." Along with the craft projects was a never-stop chat he carried on with the kids, making him more like a friend than a teacher. His very presence is more like a hug. It helped to restore joy and laughter in a time of fear.
He gives them a sense of calm and a sense of love and connection. That is his strength. I tell him he's a friend connector, right? He meets people, he connects people. He is, and he's also a friend collector. And he will keep in touch with these families. He does for years and years, well into when the children have grown into adults. So he's special in that way. That's who he is.
There are times when Kevin adds to his art or painting activity by introducing humor into the equation, wearing some bizarre dress outfits, adding extraneous props, or turning the event into a fun frolic, all designed to make the activity as enjoyable as possible for those who need to experience those feelings. His role at the camp continued to expand, and the one-time volunteer was asked to run the art department and be the entertainment director. In 2002, Dr. Eileen Gillen, hole-in-the-wall medical director at the time, certainly took note. The hematologist at the Connecticut Children's Medical Center in New Haven asked Kevin if he would bring his talents and magic to her hospital 3 days a week, with only a promise that he hopefully would be paid for his efforts. Kevin took that risk, and the Wall Gang Outreach Program was born. And now Kevin brought the camp to the kids.
Kevin is one of the most charismatic colleagues I've ever had the pleasure to work beside. He is all in and selfless with his time. He will put in as much time as is necessary and then some. He's a shining example and inspiration for the rest of our staff.
In 2004, Senator Kathy Cook of Mystic introduced a bill to create a Cure Kids Cancer license plate for Connecticut vehicles. The legislation passed. Kevin's design was selected for the plate, and they were offered by the Department of Motor Vehicles, with part of each renewal fee going to a cancer awareness account. His interactions with children were closely observed and highly regarded. As a result, Paul Newman and the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp Board developed and adopted the Hospital Outreach Program. The team now brings the hopeful, playful spirit of the camp to 20,000 children and families in a hospital setting and helps to restore joy and laughter year-round.
Luminous. Like he is full of light, and that sense of inspiration, the power of the light, the joy that emanates from him, I think that's an appropriate word. It's perhaps unique, but there's no one more unique than Kevin. He, to me, is luminous.
In 2011, Kevin was a recipient of a Mass General Hospital 100 Award for outstanding service in leading the fight against cancer. The award is given annually to 100 individuals from across the nation. Kevin is currently the regional manager of 9 hospitals in and around the Boston area. The Hospital Outreach Program now exists in 40 hospitals and clinics in several other locations, including New England, New York, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, while another outreach program is being developed in the Maryland area. Fundraising is always an important and necessary ingredient to keep various programs in existence when it comes to curing kids of whatever illness they are battling. Kevin did his share in 2008 when he completed the 26-mile Boston Marathon in 5 hours and 16 minutes to raise a total of $15,000 in pledges by running and completing the event. A move to Boston following his New York experience brought several major changes in Kevin's life. He discovered condo living, joined the Boston Gay Men's Choir, but most importantly, he met Tony, a native of Spain with a limited English vocabulary, did not hamper the relationship's development. A Christmas visit back to Putnam for parental introduction eventually led to wedding ceremonies in both Spain and in America. Kevin and Tony now reside in the Boston area. Among tonight's honorees are 3 who have already passed on and a 4th who is retired. However, the journey for Kevin Rice continues. He has already received many accolades and awards, and there is no indication that this energetic individual is even close to slowing down. Whatever the future brings, whether it be in America or Spain, it is a tribute that he has become the youngest graduate to be enshrined on Putnam High's Wall of Honor.